Hi, welcome to Celestial Sisters. I'm Erin,
And I'm Marley.
and this is
Snake oil.
If this is your first time following on us, stick around.
Falling, that's the optimum
falling.
word
That's falling
today.
today because there's a whole thing.
You're not stumbling, you're falling.
You're falling. You're falling for us. But if this is your first time, stick around. We're going to be having some really fun conversations.
Yeah.
We have some fun topics, some interesting topics, and then of course some updates on life in general and how we're doing.
And some environmental stuff. And we're going to play the Five Below game. Let's get deep.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
So, what the whole point of this show is because she buys everything that you see on TV. If it fixes the doors, if it's glue, tape, if it's face products, if it's makeup, if it's whatever, we call it snake oil because she's the snake oil salesman finds her and she buys it.
And I watched the lady using the tape that we had that she was able to cut it fine and put it on and her wrinkles went away. And I'm like, maybe I need to keep it cold or something because it just kind of shriveled up before you can pull it off.
Yeah, so we had some of that tape and it did
not work. And I'm watching her and she's telling me,
of course,
it works,
but it
pulling it off. I mean, maybe give it one more try.
Maybe it works for other people, but it doesn't work for us.
I'll do a little video tonight. I will wash my face, get it all clean and dry, and I will try cutting the pieces out first and applying them. I'm just going to go method by method. I did try to do a fast thing with it, and it's possible my skin was oily or something,
Okay, all right. Well, we'll give it a second try since it's still being shown as awesome product, right?
Right, and then the hair thing I got that's supposed to be the knockoff of the Chi one. It's supposed to ringlet your hair. The outside looks like a daisy and it goes around. We cannot figure out how it works. Even Carolyn, who has the nice one, and I have another knockoff one that I got a couple of years ago, which is a stand one, which is more like hers. And she even tried it in her hair and it nodded. So I said, okay, it's not just me. I'm not just inept with this product. And the instructions said step 1, step 2, and then it never finished on any of it. And so we went through the whole package.
That sounds
no pictures.
That sounds like a snake oil product. There you go.
Yeah.
So that those are the types of things that
I'll add a picture of the 3 products
that we end up trying because she has a problem with buying snake oil. So that's snake oil.
Oh, this is one right here too, though. Good one.
But it doesn't just go to makeup products, face products, body products.
No.
It goes to games that we get at Five Below because they're cheap. See if they're fun. See if they're anything like Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to change it up a little bit.
I almost bought the Operation Hamster game at the Dollar Tree today, but
look, I'm wearing one of our shirts and it's a different kind. It's
that one is
tropical party kind of.
Well, it's for autism. It's that kind of
the colors.
It's for being on the spectrum. It's a lot of colors, dimensions.
I'm having to use my arms. Let me give you a little update on my hip injury. My hip. That's why we called it if you've fallen. Because I for many of you might know. I know my family knows, and that I took a fall off a motorized scooter, because I should not be allowed on wheels.
And I found the other charger, by the way. I have 2 of them now.
Okay. So I got on the scooter and was riding home from work for a lunch break, and the wheel wobbled like this a little because it was going really fast, and the wheel went like this, and I just went, woo, Superman.
Oh, a kid also came out. Too. From
no, that was at the roller rink afterwards.
Oh
yeah, that was that one. Yeah, because then a couple weeks later I went to the roller rink thinking I could roller skate again, and
she fell the first time.
But the first time ripped my hip socket out of joint, and while it did that, it took a little piece of cartilage that went with it, so I had to have that repaired. So I have to have 6 full weeks on miserable crutches, and my shoulders, they hurt.
Because she's basic. I think you need to bring them down height-wise, maybe one more, because if it's pushing up and
it's not pushing up, it's because I'm having to
lay all your weight on them. Can you make them slightly
hold taller? And carry my body, and sometimes I'm just so tired that I have to put more weight on the crutches to carry.
And so before she had the surgery, somebody in my complex had thrown out one of those sitting walker chairs, right, with the handbrakes, and I saw it there. They had moved out and probably just. Or somebody had passed away. Who's to say? But who can say? But I joke that we should get that for her. She told me to fuck off.
Fuck off. Yeah. And now I regret telling her to fuck off
because
because
that would have been really handy now.
you
Because she didn't
know.
know it was going to be. They told her like, hey, 2-3 weeks she'll be back up and around, but it became more.
But because they had to, I have cadaver cells and cadaver putty, bone paste.
Welcome to Zombie Land. I'm a
Zombieland.
member.
I get to have the
I
dead
have
inside.
8 zombie bone grafts.
I get to have the dead inside and outside. So there you go. So I have since they had to put that in there and make cartilage essentially.
So do you think that means bath salts won't work on us if we already got zombie in us?
My question is, I had that total knee replacement, right? And why couldn't they just give me, instead of taking my whole knee away, why not just recreate, like, give me cadaver stuff to make that cartilage?
Because that's a larger area to cover and your body would reject it. It already has a hard rejecting anything. That area tends to be, that's your other heart area.
Well, you know, I have, my whole body rejects things all the time.
But putting, instead of a foreign object, they're putting something also human in you that may absorb better because of your prior issues. That's probably why.
It's taken us a little longer to get back to filming. And yes, we did film one other time before today. We did it yesterday, but due to technical errors of a
microphone and the stupid microphone that screwed us up at the same time
last time.
We just
she used it again. And so I said, now it was, you know, it's trial and error. So now,
and we didn't do a test run like we normally do. We were just off our game altogether.
Yeah. So, you know, it's now a cat toy.
Yeah. And Bob Ross night is still coming up. We prepared for it, but you know, things happen.
I think our next show, I think that we should do that on
our live.
We're going to be doing a live probably tomorrow night.
Saturday's the graduation, so tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night's a good night to do it because, I mean, it's Wednesday.
Or Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday nights are always the midnight, like, we'll get you to that midnight hump of, you'll watch us paint some.
Are you able to stay up late?
I can stay up. I can make it. I can make it.
If we get it set up. But we kind of...
And we already have everything we need to do it. Oh, we just
move to the table. Or we have the easels. We have everything.
Yeah, we have everything. So we're good. We're good. We already have.
I even have examples of Nailed It ones that I bought at the store of their versions of Bob Ross, and we're going to compare what we make to their Nailed It versions.
There you go.
And eventually their Nailed It versions.
Yeah, this is like Nailed It because I'm not an artist. You're more of an artist than I am. You've always been more art, like been able
I just like to do everything.
But I'm just saying, like, drawing is specifically.
Yeah, but I like everything. I'm not super good at anything, but I'm above average at most in art, in crafting.
Of course. Well,
yeah.
Girl, please. I know. We do a lot of arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know what? Let's just say right now, I want to say a big thank you to Carolyn.
Thank you so much for coming down from Portland and spending time with us and seeing what we're all about. It had been a reconnection after 27 years, so that's an amazing thing for all of us.
For all of us, and it was really great. She, you know, like
she's one of the original.
She came in, played the game, like went over some great topics.
Yep.
And you know, just stepped up to help the sisters.
Yeah,
out.
And you know, she has her own life and stuff going on in Portland, but from time and time again, she's going to be doing little segments, hopefully, and sending them to us so we can clip them in, or we can duet with her. So
I think the segments would be good.
I do too. So that way we can have, because she's really good, way better on fashion and other things like that.
Fashion person.
Well, exactly, because she likes bougie stuff. Now. I love
you gotta find all about all the fashion. You gotta give us all the deets,
and especially makeup and stuff, because you know we are Gen X. I still dress like high school.
Girl. Anyway, we just want to say a really big thank you for that.
Thank you.
Because those days were pretty rough in the beginning. So I really want to say thank you for coming down. Thank you for being in my home and watching me sleep.
I'm watching Teen Witch and High School
but
movies.
You know, even before the surgery, we got to hang out every day, so it was really nice.
And she got to watch us do 2 shows, and actually joined in the one before.
Third. Yeah. So thank you very much, Carolyn. We love you.
We love you.
So hey, let's talk about the Ziploc class action lawsuit.
These are our impactful stories. So,
all right,
there's a lot of stuff going on right now that we're finding out that we thought we're being green and we're not.
Right, and so the big thing here is the class action lawsuits is because they're misleading Ziploc has been misleading people, and I think we all knew this, that that their bags were recyclable, and really they're not. They're ending up still out in the landfills
and killing animals, strangling, getting caught up.
But they also had because of the microplastics. They said that they were safe to go into the microwave for like their containers and all their bags.
Going into the food.
And now they found that microplastics are seeping into the food web because people
are changing the DNA of the food you're eating, and then you're eating it, and then it's getting into your DNA.
Right. And then so that goes along with the Coca-Cola and PepsiCo.
Right, and that was the one I found, which was so funny. So there is a government lawsuit from the Virgin Islands on Coca-Cola and PepsiCo because they have said that their stuff was recyclable, and
all the bottles.
Remember,
and like guys,
the caps are not, but the bottles.
Yeah.
But
caps on all
it was deceptive business practice, and they've been adding to the waste this landmass of plastic. And so they're suing them for those deceptive practices, and promoting all of this to us was false. Yeah. So there's a lot of big name companies that are going to be going under the microscope.
That's American territory. That's we have part of that is our territory.
I couldn't even. I was going to say microphone.
So imagine that, if they're suing, that pretty soon our states are going to start suing. I think you're going to start seeing an end to plastic bottles. I think we're going to go back to cans again.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. They have aluminum. People love it, and it stands the test of time. Things last way longer. They're in dark. Yeah. But they were worried because aluminum, they felt, led to Alzheimer's.
But they found now that is
not true. So why don't we go back to the canning?
Isn't that funny? It's just not true. Huh. Just but then, that conspiracies, these are conspiracies that you can go and look up. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, but they impact our environment. And if you are as concerned as we are, and it's hard to make a big footprint in this fight, but if we all make a little footprint to do our part, that will make the large footprint overall.
Yeah. Just remember, when you're recycling those plastic bottles, take the lids off, because otherwise don't just not take the plastic bottles. Because if those lids are attached, because those are not recyclable, and there's somebody there sorting all this stuff, they don't have time to take off the lids.
Yeah, and be glad we're not there in the recycling, because I wish they would just sterilize them and reuse them. But in recycling, they melted down and caused poisonous gases to come out into our air. So it's the recycling is worse than making the bottle almost.
Yeah. Well, that's why we had metal slides and not plastic ones.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like, we didn't have all that problem. Yep. So, hey, we got a new pope.
Yeah, we have Pope Leo the 14th. He is from the USA, our first pope.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Go Chicago. I've got family in Chicago. That's where my family's from.
And he's the Archbishop of Rome. His name is Robert Francis Prevost, and he's 69. He'll be 70 in September.
Virgo.
Yes.
Go Virgo.
But that also, we're happy for the new pope. Thank you. It was very quick. They went through the papal decision quickly.
I have a couple of Virgos in my life that are very, 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 very good.
But that also moves into a little of our conspiracies.
Yeah.
The
Pope apartment, like the Pope like when
Francis's apartment was sealed after he died.
Right. They have seals that they put on after a Pope dies. So then Pope Leo the 14th said, go ahead and break those seals. And there's a conspiracy where there's some information out there right now
about the seventh seal kind of stuff.
The seventh seal kind of thing.
End of times. So there's a conspiracy in that respect.
There's some of that right there. But then he also, he's getting a salary of $33,000 a month, right?
His apartment is covered and his food is covered.
So that was my thing, was like, hey, why, when priests, and he was a priest before he became a pope. Okay, let's be clear. He took the same vows. He had to start off as a priest and move his way up through.
Right.
Okay, just like starting off as a dishwasher. You got to make your way up. Right.
But think about it. As a dishwasher, you're very humble and you don't have anything. By the time you make it to executive chef, you've got the rings, you've got the tats, you got the scars.
One of the vows that they take is of poverty, just like the nuns. Just like nuns, they don't get to keep their real names.
No.
Nuns, that is. I mean, priest. I don't have
because
it.
he takes Leo. They take just like in confirmation when you get
But was he like Archbishop Leo before that? Like he was himself before that. But nuns have to take on a
that
whole
would
other
be
name.
the name he was given at confirmation. Is Leo? He's before Leo.
We have to look into that. Anyway, so but they take your name away. Then you have to give up all your worldly possessions, all your family,
And marry God.
And if you have an heirloom, you give it to the church.
Right.
And when you go to retire, you get those things back. I think. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. We just watched a movie where
so no,
the guy steals his.
But if I'm wrong, comment.
He steals his mother's Virgin Mary that was in the.
Anyway, so he's supposed to take vows of poverty. So why is he getting $33,000 a month, and what's he spending it on?
So this is where we differ, because I'm saying as a dishwasher, you're not rocking all that. When you move up, the pay gets better, correct? Just like any job.
I get it.
Okay,
but still, it's not. I mean,
he's leading the whole world. If you times that by 12,
the Catholic Church has so much money, and they pay for everything that he's already doing. They pay for his transportation. They pay for his security. They pay for everything. So
he also has to tithe and do charitable things with that money and give to the poor. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Maybe he did do a lot of work in Central America. I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. Like
no.
Like a lot of the
conservatives are saying he's too woke.
He's too woke. So let's see what he does. But I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm glad that we have a new pope. I'm glad that.
Let's see what he does with that $33,000 a month.
I'm just saying.
But to be fair, I mean, Pope Benedict had the gold robes and the jewels. They do get to that because they're held at right below God. And
the messenger.
The messenger, right? Yes. And he's taken the vow of poverty. He understands it and moves.
I get it.
I get it. But it becomes greed at a certain
level.
It
just becomes weird. I think it's weird. I mean, I know that the president gets a salary every month.
But I think he only gets like $350,000 a year.
200,000. It's like 250,000.
Yeah, 256, something like that.
Yeah, it's
moderate.
It's moderate. So I get it. Then CEOs of companies can pay more than that. So I mean, I get it. But
think about it. He'd only be making like $700,000 a year.
But he didn't take a vow of poverty.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So also we have the Diddy trial has started.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes, queen.
So the jury has finally been picked.
Yeah, there's 18 members of people who are,
let's say, from 30s to 50s.
They're late 30s to mid. I think 60s. There's one person that's like 60 something, but they're all pretty young. I mean, pretty middle-aged.
So they're still getting like that Gen X population in there.
And they have it's a mixed up.
And maybe some late baby boomers that are like on the cusp.
But Cassie Ventura is witness number one. She was on the stand today, and she was just talking about a lot of the treatment that she had.
And they're trying to figure out if it was a partner treatment or a victim treatment.
And there's a lot of
a fine line.
There's a lot of victim in that.
Right.
There's some stuff that she said. You guys, this is
hearsay, and we're just our opinions.
We're just pushing this out there because you guys, we want you to educate yourselves on some topics that are different than what you're looking at right now. And so sometimes if you get interested in something that we're talking about, you can go on that rabbit hole.
I'm just saying, like in a partnership,
you like and subscribe because that's what we need.
If it's not an equal partnership, it is victimhood. Regardless of partnership, because you're forced to do things you're not comfortable with.
And there's a power dynamic,
and they weren't married.
He was 7 years older than her,
and so much more wealthy, and
they were together
different position.
He was so young. She was so young when she started dating him. They were together for 10 years. There was a lot that he held, and he had videos
and trained her.
Look, they testified today that he had videos of her in compromising situations, right? That he would use against her and say, if you go and do this, I'm going to let him out. So it was blackmail.
Yeah.
So you were keeping someone in control with your power. So like that changes the game a whole lot. And I know because I'm
not sure if Lil Rob's number 2 or if it's that Thalia girl. But number 3's MIA. I knew yesterday still MIA. Yeah, obviously not in witness protection.
Yeah, today she's still nowhere to be found. Is what they said. So
and they're gonna try for a mistrial. You know that. If that's why he didn't take the plea deal, because if he can Nobody testifies. You're gonna miss
Hey,
out.
you know what? Like,
We have no control over what goes on.
And,
We're just reporting
hey,
what we've seen.
I wouldn't be surprised if witness tampering is going on because that's another thing he's been accused of doing in the past anyway. So we'll see what happens because he's got a lot of power. So if we're still here tomorrow, we're okay. We're just little people.
Yeah.
We're just little people.
Anybody notice the timeline shift?
I
think that it ended like pretty much like today. That full moon just set it in, the full moon in Scorpio last night or on Monday.
It was last night.
It was Monday
night, yeah.
And we're here in May. It was just crazy. I follow Elizabeth April, and she's the one that said this timeline shift. Like, we shift timelines every day. Every decision we make could be a different thing. Those are timelines. But this was a whole global shift, like in 2012.
She said, "Let's see what." Like, I remember hearing what she was saying. Well, let's see what is real and what is not real now.
Let's see what Mandela effects we get. We're more keen to look for them now. They started in 2012. It just took us a while to catch up.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff there. And, that Scorpio moon, let's just
lots of crazy solar flares. My phone. I got an emergency intervention at my house with my sister in her pajamas today.
Yeah.
Because my phone was glitching.
When I know this girl, if I call and she's sleeping or if she's doing anything and she doesn't answer and I call her again, she starts to get annoyed that I'm calling her back to back. I called her like 8 times. I can't drive right now. So we knew we were doing
and
this.
I was picking her up.
And she was waiting for me to call. And I knew she was waiting for me to call.
I was working on the stuff for the show.
So I couldn't get a hold of her. Kept sending her texts so that at least a tone would come up. So just like, the little period, just like, and send it, period, send it, period, send it. And I did that like repeatedly. And then I was like, okay. So I reached out to her sister. Hey, have you heard from Early today? Like, I've tried to reach out to her. We're supposed to film. She's not answering. She was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, I tried calling and I explained this to her. And she's like, can we go over? I was like, yes, please. Do you mind? So she came over. She was sitting here waiting for me to call.
She's like, she's all ready. She's been setting everything up. She's ready to go. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, showing there's no bars. And I have 2 big redwoods that are here that kind of block some signal. But with the solar flares and weird stuff.
My computer was going absolutely nuts.
And nobody gets that. They're just like thinking, realistically, solar energy, when it flares out in these plasmas, hits and affects our satellites and our magnetic field. That's our protection around Earth. That keeps our everything in here. And when it does that, it's electromagnetic. It makes anything that's electronic or metal.
So if you've noticed your phone, your computers, your TV, your
things
Wi-Fi,
you turn off and don't quite turn off yet. They just hang there for a minute.
I know. My phone kept going through updates.
I know. And then I'd turn my radio off in the car and it would still be on. And then turn it off again. It would say it was off, but it would still be on.
I'm kind of glad I'm not driving right now. Yeah. So we're going to play this game. Let's
go deep, five below.
Like, I know that you and Carolyn played this game, but
it
was
fun.
It was fun. So I think
we tried it a reverse way, and I think we're going to do it the same way we do with Carolyn, because we were trying to guess somebody else's answer to it. But some of the questions, I couldn't even, because they weren't things we would talk about.
Okay, I got a light question. Would you rather burp glitter or fart fireworks?
Fart fireworks. I'm way gassier.
I would also do the same because, well, I don't like a whole lot of glitter just popping off all over.
Oh, no, I'd be sneezing. I'm so runny nose.
Everybody would hate me.
Fireworks all day long would be awesome. I'd eat cheese all the time.
You would be the topic of every conversation. There you go.
All right.
Center of attention.
This is a big question. If you could record your dreams and watch them back, would you? Why or why not?
No, because that is my dream is it, and my therapist and my doctors have all talked about this. This is where I deal with my trauma. Exactly. So I have a lot of nightmares, and I have a lot of
work out your stuff.
I work out my stuff so that I can be a better person. So
I find my dreams.
There's a lot of running. There's a lot of screaming. There's a crying.
Yeah.
No.
Emotional. I'm like,
I don't think I can watch it.
Yeah, I process stuff in my.
I don't think I could watch it because of those things.
Well, then there's
then it's like triggering me on purpose.
And then I have the most randomest, like, I invent places, but I go to the same places.
I mean,
and then just bizarro stuff.
But
happens.
I have random triggers that like
Yeah.
are weird. For like I can't be around latex balloons. Like the Mylar ones are fine, but
Right.
latex balloons, oh my god, it's like I
All right,
get
your turn.
ridiculous. So, but that's just a random one. It came
Yeah.
out of nowhere at one time, and it just stuck. So, have you ever cheated on a test? If so, why and what test was it? I don't think you did. You never cheated on a test.
There's no need for me to cheat.
I never cheated on a test.
No, I never did. I'm smart enough.
Yeah, we just didn't stay. We skipped school a lot.
We took the tests. We didn't do.
We took the tests.
We were really show up for class.
It's your turn.
But yeah, I don't remember ever cheating on a test.
No, nor do I. I don't know.
I'm not that kind of person.
We also
I did fart during CGBS testing in 6th grade when it was all quiet.
I remember that because I was in the room.
A little the dots.
It was all kind of funny.
Oh, I got. Can I put it back? This is one Carolyn and I got.
Okay.
Unless you want the
Well,
same question.
Just
all right. Do aliens exist?
Oh hell yeah! They're already here. They've been walking around with us for a long time.
A lot of them look just like us.
Yep. We just have our. People have become so center focused that they have their phone in front of them all the time. They don't look up.
Oh yeah.
So they don't see what's going on around them. And
can I ask another? Or well, no, because you got a good answer out of it.
So I think that because that kind of talks.
Well, and then a lot of aliens are born into human forms and reincarnated.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think your favorite teacher does when they're not? Well, when we were kids, what did you think your favorite teacher did when they weren't at school?
Oh well, we're gonna talk hottest and shortest like time as a teacher, but Drew Gashler, Mr. Gashler.
He was a hot guy.
What did I think he did? I know that he skied and was involved in oceanic stuff and played guitar. I just imagine like a campfire.
See, I always had the older teachers, so I always like Mr. Van Gerpen.
Yeah, I know.
I always thought he would go home and just annoy his kids.
Well, he was only like a teacher 1 or 2 years, and he was like 24.
Yeah,
like.
But Mr. Van Gerpen, I always thought because he had all those McDonald's toys all the way around the room.
Oh yeah,
and so I just like imagined that he would go to McDonald's after school and grab a couple Happy Meals and go home and annoy his teenage daughters with his voices that he did for everything.
Well, favorite teachers, really.
He was my favorite teacher.
Well, I mean, I did love Mr. Carson, too.
Yeah.
Huh? I just figured he would go home and eat and play on the piano.
Yeah. Okay, ready? You gotta do it.
Woo woo. Woo woo. Let's hopefully there's a jazzy one.
We got like 2 more.
Yeah. It's usually about 5. I had that one with her. Sorry. Just I don't want to keep repeating the same ones to you, I mean, okay, sorry. Who's the most famous person you've ever met? You met Captain
Jerry
Phil.
Rice.
You met Captain Phil.
Captain Phil.
We both met, at the same place.
Yeah. And we met Joe Montana when we were younger.
Yeah. Jerry Rice then too.
Yeah, on the golf course.
Golf course, because my dad used to do tournaments, like Little Helpers things.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. And I was wearing my gold.
Well, and then Jerry also had a house in Gilroy in the golf club that I worked at.
I think it was... I don't think
did you ever get to meet Jeff Garcia? I did. He came to the golf course.
No, I don't think so. I think that's it. I met the Earthquake. I worked with he was a professional wrestler back in the 80s with the Earthquake. He was a massive, like 6'9" or 7'4" man with these his hands were the size of your
sausages,
head.
Yeah. Like
and he worked in the men's department while I worked in handbags. So I saw it. We used to go and have lunch. He had the sweetest little wife. She was so cute.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, I've met people. I was in an elevator once with Venus Williams. Or no, wait. Serena. one of them. I think it was Serena.
Aha! I have one for you.
Yeah.
Name a food that tastes better when you eat it right out of the jar.
A food that tastes better when you eat it right out of the jar.
Yeah.
Peanut
Peanut
butter.
butter. Peanut butter.
Easy.
Yeah. Or
jelly
yeah.
even.
Yeah, just.
But I don't spoonful of peanut butter.
Yeah, I do spoon. I like peanut butter.
Yeah, this is like peanut butter. I'll just eat on the spoon.
Right. One more. Last one.
Make
it good. Make it good.
Okay, we're gonna go for the bigger question. That one's no, because it's the same one. I keep grabbing.
Stuck with it.
If you could ask your family pet 3 questions, what would they be? Which pet?
Would have to be Georgia. And
who's my little honey bunny sister?
What would I ask her? Like, why is she such a dick? Why does she have to be playing while we're sleeping? And yeah, why, if the back door is open, she's still scratching at the front door because she wants to come in instead of going all the way she went out. Yeah, I think those would be 3.
Now, why can't you leave my screens alone and go out the door like a normal cat?
Well, she already has her screens, but the whiter she gets, the bigger the screen hole gets.
They're hitting year 2.
So she's almost 2 years old. So it's that time.
Yeah,
it's that time. So anyway, we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've had a lot of fun.
Yes, we have.
And we're going to be doing some lives this week because we truly do want to come right back at you guys. I'm feeling much better.
We want to do our Bob Ross night, and also,
but we're going to do them around.
We need some positive things and some positive energy,
some fun haha times. But when we do Bob Ross night, we probably will start around 9:00, so that we're not competing with anything like any shows that you might like to watch, because right now they're just kind of crappy.
It's summertime.
So yeah, so 9:00. 9:00 on tomorrow night. So be ready. We're
on YouTube or TikTok or
let's do. I think we should do YouTube.
Let's go live on. We'll go live on YouTube at 9:00. I will put it out there.
So when you see this video right here, we'll be going live that night. We're going to be going live tonight. Tonight. That's how you're going to see it.
Tonight.
So, be a good human. Remember to look for the rainbow in the cloudy sky, even if it's so gray you feel like it's never going to go away. There's always a rainbow coming your way. So,
be a good human. Keep
Bye.
your frequency and energy up. Love you guys.
I ain't never seen 2 stable best friends. Always one of them about to lose their shit.
Wait, you're telling me one of us is actually supposed to be stable?